If you're new here, this is one of our Monday mini episodes, short, data-focused recaps of the most recent public Texas Longhorn consignment sale. Our regular, full-length episodes dive into ranch stories, breeding insights, and interviews, so be sure to explore those as well.
If you're wanting to learn more about pricing and trends in the Texas Longhorn market, you'll want to tune in to today's episode. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Molly, and we're the owners of Hired Hand Software and Hired Hand Live.
Each Monday, we break down the numbers from the past weekend sale, online and in-person averages, high sellers, bidding trends, and what the data tells us about the current Longhorn market.
Let's take a quick look at what happened this weekend.
In today's Monday Mini, we're recapping the 2026 Oregon Trail sale, which took place June 27th in Dundee, Oregon. We'll be breaking down the most viewed animals, top sellers, both online and in person, and overall activity on hiredhandlive.com. But before we dive into it, a quick note that From the Pasture now has its new dedicated social accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. They're separate from the Hired Hand Live and Hired Hand website pages, so be sure to follow along there. One of our favorite parts of every sale recap is hearing from you, the buyers, sellers, and Longhorn fans who make these weekends special. Whether you are in Oregon or following along on Hired Hand Live, your messages always deliver. If you'd like to have your sale feedback featured on a future recap, you can join our text list by texting website to 888-700-8131 and replying to our post-sale prompts. Now let's share a moment from this past weekend's Oregon Trail sale. The comment we received said, "Congratulations to Awesome Jam, Bellini, and their owners for winning the NLFR High Point Buckles." Now that we've shared that highlight, let's turn to the numbers. The Oregon Trail sale delivered the strong engagement both in the ring and online. The data tells the story, from the sale averages to total views and activity on hiredhandlive.com. There were 52 lots that sold in the sale, with the unofficial total being $250,450, while the unofficial average was $4,816. The internet-only average was $3,562. With the 12th sale of 2026 in our Hired Hand Live Trends and Averages series, the year-to-date average now sits at $10,762,000, with the internet-only average of $7,152. There were just over 12,000 total views of consignments online, with 65 registered internet bidders. The most viewed lot after the sale was Lot 6, DH Centerfold, who was consigned by DCT Cattle. She had 524 hits. She was also the most viewed before the sale, with 387 views. Now that we've covered the overall stats, let's spotlight the top 5 in-person sales from the Oregon Trail sale. These consignments drew serious attention and left Oregon with some excited new owners. The 5th highest selling lot to an in-person buyer was Lot 28, Lazawi Girl EOT 651, consigned by Siller Land and Longhorns, selling for $7,250 to Ridge Point Longhorns. The 4th highest selling lot to an in-person buyer was Lot 7, SR Clout Emily 860, consigned by Diamond B Longhorns, selling for $7,500 to Crown Creek. The 3rd highest selling lot to an in-person buyer was Lot 36, HR Rebel Tempest, consigned by 1886 Cattle, and she sold for $9,000 to Crown Creek. The 2nd highest selling lot to an in-person buyer was Lot 26, BCR Winona, consigned by Diamond B Longhorns, and she sold for $10,500 to Landy Farms. And the number 1 highest selling lot to an in-person buyer was Lot 32, which was a sublot, JM5 Mistress Michelle, consigned by the McIntyre Farms, and she sold for $24,000 to Diamond B Longhorns. After the in-person highlights, now let's shift gears to the online bidding. We'd like to thank the sale host of the Oregon Trail sale for trusting Hired Hand Live to connect buyers from across the country. Here are the top 5 animals sold through internet bidding. The 5th highest selling lot to an online buyer was Lot 13, which was a sub, GF Iron Brandy, consigned by KDK Longhorns. She sold for $3,600 to Rocking M Cattle. The 4th highest selling lot to an online buyer was Lot 34A, AS Astoria, consigned by ANS Land and Cattle, and she sold for $4,100 to Jeremy Tobin. The 3rd highest selling lot to an online buyer was Lot 21, ANS The Fox, consigned by ANS Land and Cattle, selling for $5,400 to Steve Sanders. The 2nd highest selling lot to an online buyer was lot 23, DCT Miss Etta, consigned by DCT Cattle, selling for $6,500 to Jacob Lovelace. And the number one highest-selling lot to an online buyer was DH Centerfold, consigned by DH Cattle Company, and sold for $7,500 to Mr. Dale Hunt. We'd like to thank all of the internet buyers and bidders for participating at this last weekend sale. With the top online sales covered, let's look at the impact of internet bidding. Hired Hand Live connected buyers and sellers from wherever they are, and the numbers from the Oregon Trail sale showed just how strong that reach was. There was just over $61,000 value added through internet bidding, with 210 online bids, 16 lots sold online to 10 different online buyers. With this sale taking place in Dundee, Oregon, our furthest internet buyer was located in Louisiana, which is roughly 2,500 miles from where the sale was held. Now we'll go over the Futurity results from the weekend as well. We'll first talk about the heifer class winners. The Class 1 winner, JM5 Rio Deo Drive, entered by the McIntyre-Whitlock partnership, ended with 225.5 points. The Class 2 winner, JM5 Mistress Michelle, entered by McIntyre Farms, ended with 225.5 points. The Class 3 winner, CK Kelda, entered by the Mile High Soda Springs partnership, ended with 229 points. Class 4 winner was 1886 Mermaid Marianne, entered by 1886 Cattle Company, ending with 230.5 points. The Class 5 winner, SLL Sunfire, was entered by Seller Longhorns and ended with 229 points. The Class 6 winner was Awesome Jam, who was entered by the Whitlock McIntyre partnership, ending with 230.5 points. And the Class 7 winner was WL Topaz Rebel, entered by the Waymont Longhorns, ended with 227 points. Now, these next few classes that we'll talk about are the bull classes. So the Class 8 winner for the bulls was Level Flight, entered by Elite Partnership, ending with 227.5 points. The Class 9 winner, Holy Mackerel, was also entered by the Elite Partnership, ending with 229 points. The Class 10 winner for the bulls, DCT Big Pappy, entered by the Cody Hesse Partnership, ended with 230 points. Class 11 winner, SSL Benelli, entered by the Benelli Legacy Partnership, and he ended with 233.5 points. And the final class for the bulls was Class 12. That winner was HL Crown's Pride, entered by the Elite Partnership, ending with 229 points. The NLFR High Point Female came from Class 6, Awesome Jam, which was entered by the Whitlock McIntyre Partnership, who again ended with 230.5 points. And the NLFR High Point Bull came from Class 11, SSL Benelli, entered by the Benelli Legacy Partnership, ending with 233.5 points. And at the Oregon Futurity, they also gave away a Grand Champion Female Prize, which was $5,000, and that went to the Class 6 winner, Awesome Jam, entered by the Whitlock McIntyre Partnership. She ended with 230.5 points. And the Grand Champion Bull from this past weekend, who walked away with $10,000, was from Class 11, SS Benelli, entered by the Benelli Legacy Partnership. And again, he ended with 233.5 points. Be sure to visit the NLFR website for details about upcoming events and to also view the Futurity results from this past weekend. Looking ahead, our next stop with Hired Hand Live is the Great Northern Longhorn Classic. We'll be releasing a pre-sale podcast on Tuesday, July 21st, featuring the sale host and everything you need to know before sale day. That wraps up our Oregon Trail sale recap. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming sales, stats, and stories on From the Pasture with Hired Hand. Until next time, whether you're hauling down the highway or bidding online, travel safe, enjoy the memories made each sale weekend, and we'll see you at the next one.